Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. So we're going to dive into something kind of exciting today. We're going to be diving into the new posters for the new Monster Season 3, the Ed Gein Story. A little while back, I covered this. They got Charlie Hunnam playing Ed Gein, which I thought was an interesting casting choice, and I'm very much open to see what they do, because I'm actually one of those people who really genuinely enjoyed Season 1 of Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Now, do I think that certain things got taken a little too far out of hand because of who was playing him? Yes, not his fault, of course, but the fans got really weird about it. Look, I'm all for great performances. I'm all for all of this kind of stuff, but there were people really post after post after post saying things along the lines of, oh yeah, I'd let Jeffrey Dahmer take me, things along those lines, people cosplaying as Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, I really don't think people understand that it's really an educational kind of thing. I mean, it really depends on how you view this stuff, but I viewed it as a very educational thing on just to kind of learn more about the person itself, because I do find true crime to be very interesting, but I never glorify. I never go out of my way to really sit down and make this person feel special. You know, I don't want these serial killers feeling special. I want them to be viewed as what they are. Monsters, right? Even hence the show name, Monster. But I think we can all, acknowledge that was an amazing performance. He really captured that menacing, disturbing, psychologically disturbed person. He was unsettling to watch, so, give props where props are due. So I'm obviously curious to see Charlie Hunnam as Ed Gein. And I have not seen Monster Season 2. It's probably something I'm going to watch at some point. One of the reasons why I kind of have to prepare myself for Monster Season 2 is because Monster Season 1 was so disturbing. My reactions are up on Patreon and members right now, the full uncut reactions. The audio's not the best because it was around the time where I was struggling with my audio, but I think you can overall hear what's going on and everything like that. It's a disturbing time. It was a masterfully made season. It didn't make you want to feel sorry for Jeffrey Dahmer. It made you hate him even more, which I was worried about. I was going into Dahmer I really hope they don't try to make me feel bad for this guy. You don't. You really, really don't feel bad for him at all. You hate him by the end of it. But here, let's go ahead and take a look at the posters that they released for the new Monster Season 3. One of my personal favorite horror-related pages. Monster, the Ed Gein Story, posters for Netflix series reference Chainsaw Massacre, and more. Real-life monster Ed Gein inspired classic cinema villains including Norman Bates, Leatherface, and Buffalo Bill, and many more. Okay, as you can see, here's poster number 1. Before the silence of the lambs, there was Ed. And he has the face pulling down. You can see it's right there, kind of like Hannibal Lecter's mask, which was true. This man would use human body parts and or flesh to make things around the house. Masks, furniture. He was terrifying. Let me just say that. So, and I do like the green. Season 1 was yellow with Jeffrey Dahmer. It's green here. I do like that. But before Psycho, there was Ed. Again, Ed Gein went and took his mother's corpse from her grave and kept it in the house. Very similar to Norman Bates, how he did the same thing with his mom's corpse. Yeah, very disturbing. Kind of reminds you of the Bates Motel poster when he has his head on his mom's lap. And then we go down here, and then we got before the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there was Ed. And he's just waving that chainsaw around like a monster. From the creators of Dahmer and Monsters, Monster, the Ed Gein Story. October 3rd. I'm not too sure if he used a chainsaw, so that's kind of stretching it. I just know the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was also, it was more about how there was a lot of furniture and a lot of things around the house that were made out of human body parts. I feel like were probably more so inspired by the Ed Gein Story. Not only that, but also the fact that there was cannibalism. He would eat a lot of his victims. He would cook stuff. As a matter of fact, Zach Bagans, if I'm not mistaken, has his actual pot, his cooking pot, like a cauldron, that he would actually put bigger organs inside and actually cook them and then eat. The whole story, man, that actually made me a little bit sick just saying that. And obviously the grandpa, the deceased people inside the house. I mean, there was a lot that Ed Gein had inspired with that. You're probably wondering, and they're really going with the horror movie vibe here, which I really don't know if we want to make Ed Gein a horror movie icon. Again, something similar happened with Jeffrey Dahmer, where you had people dressing up as Dahmer everywhere. Literally, for Halloween that year, people were just walking up and down the streets dressed as Jeffrey Dahmer, one beer in the hand, the jeans, the glasses. I mean, it was everywhere. I don't really know if I want to see someone like Ed Gein get that treatment too. I get it's just promoting, it's getting people excited for the new season. I don't think they're meaning anything by it, but you can't help but think, it's like, are we really going to try to make Ed Gein a horror icon? He inspired horror icons, and I saw some interesting comments over on social media where people were saying, what's the difference between Ed Gein and Leatherface? Like, why is it okay to do that, like, you know, to love Leatherface and to love all these characters, but not Ed Gein in those kind of regards? And the big difference is because Ed Gein is the real person who committed all of these crimes. He is the person who did a lot of these disgusting acts. Leatherface is a fictional character. Norman Bates is a fictional character written for a movie. Yes, the events of this inspired those movies, but they are not the overall people or human beings that committed all of these crimes. Ed Gein is the monster behind that. To actually make him the main character, his name, his looks, his design, his all of that, an actual character within your thing, and then trying to put him off as a horror icon, I can see why people are like, they're torn on this. I've seen so many comments now. They're torn because they don't know how to feel about it. They don't know whether they should be like excited that, you know, Ed Gein's got some really cool posters. Like, I dig the posters. I think this is like phenomenal marketing, but at the same time, it's like, I get it. It's really kind of making him out to be a horror icon. I'm still excited to see the third season of Monster because I think that the storytelling, especially within that first season, was so damn good. I think they did a great job with the posters. I really do. Before the Sounds of the Lambs, there was Ed, which this isn't really anything new either, because you got to keep in mind, everybody knew that these movies were inspired by Ed Gein. And it's not like this did not happen. This shit did happen. So it's not all too far off from the truth either. If we're going to be making series based on real people, you kind of have to go all the way. And that is educational. Yes, he did inspire those movies. I'm sure there are many movies that Jeffrey Dahmer inspired. But Ed Gein, by far, when it comes to talking about horror films and like who inspired the story, guarantee you almost 90% of them are inspired by Ed Gein. Yeah, I think that's where people are going to be mixed on this, is that, are we trying to make him a horror icon? I don't think that was their intent. I get what they were going for. They're trying to tell people and inform them that this is the guy who inspired a lot of the movies that you love, that you're probably not even aware that he inspired. So that's going to get people talking. That's going to get people there. I'm going to tell you. Yeah, this is probably my favorite poster. But the question here, Maniacs, is what do you think? Are you excited for Season 3 of Monster? Do you really care? Are you tired of glorifying serial killers? I can understand both sides of it. I understand the educational side of it, where people find this stuff fascinating. I'm one of those people. I find it fascinating, but you will never, ever, ever see me rocking a John Wayne Gacy shirt on my live streams. You will never see me doing anything like that. I find this stuff to be interesting, and I am a sucker for awesome performances. So if Charlie Hunnam can give a great performance as Ed Gein, I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm looking forward to seeing how well he does. It's going to be disturbing, I have no doubt, but I'm curious. So let me know what you think in the comments section, and I'll see you all in the next one. Do take care.
Reactions are nothing new. However, there is one man on a mission who wants to prove the world a fakery. He used to follow all these paranormal shows. Now he's had enough. He is done. Dark sources throwing down, coming after all these paranormal clowns. He is watching, not letting them get away. All these fakers, they're gonna have to pay. Chicago's is throwing down, coming after all these paranormal clowns. He's watching, not letting get away. All these fake stars, tearing the fakers apart. Lead with his heart, no one dare tell him catch me yet, because Boycotts have